My name is Daniel Green, and this is my intro artifact speech for public speaking. I chose these three things to represent my past, my future, and my present. I believe they are the best representation of each. The first thing I chose was a book. Growing up, I had a small family who were all very busy. I had an older sister who was in college, another older sister who was in high school, and they didn't really want to spend a lot of time with their little brother. My mother was the sole provider, and she worked multiple jobs just to make sure that we had everything we needed. On the weekends, I would occasionally get to go to the library, and that was the most fun I ever had. I would get dozens of books sometimes and spend the entire week, especially over summers, just reading. I find this very important because it's something I want to pass on to my son. I don't like, the whole sitting around watching TV or playing on a tab thing when he could pick up a book and start reading. I feel like it has a lot of positive attributes to help them mentally and with their future. For my present, I chose education. This is one of my education books that I'm currently using. I am in my last semester at Valencia High School, and I am currently taking 5 classes. This class, a Human Diversity and Education class, a Diversity Population class, and 2 others. Education is very important to me because it was never pushed upon me as a child. I was never told you should go to college. In fact, I was told that it was a waste of time and I should never even bother with it. About the time my children were born, I decided that I wanted to take the plunge and become an educator. My wife was doing it as well, and I figured now's the time. To me, it's very sad because I work in a field at the state attorney's office where you see a lot of people who are grown and lawyers and even doctors sometimes, and police officers who don't have at all a grasp of the human language. It's bad as that sounds. Well, they'll write reports and do things when you can't understand a thing they're saying. To me, it's very important to be able to express yourself through writing, through talking, through even reading something. Oh, I hope to teach middle or high school, and I'm trying to go for language arts, reading, or English. These are the 3 things that I'm the most passionate about, and it's the one thing that I can think about in my future that I know I definitely want to do, and it's something I strive to do. For my future, this is a picture of my wife and kids. My wife Stephanie was one of the biggest influences in the beginning for me to start going to school. At that time, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I'd always toyed with the idea of becoming an educator. She was the one that finally told me to stop screwing around and actually start going for something I like to do instead of something that would make the most amount of money. My son Liam is 3 years old, and he was born about the time I started going to school. He was one of the biggest pushes for me to actually do things and stop just talking about them. To this day, he's a very voracious reader. You can find him all the time, quietly reading his books or sneaking out of his bed at night just to get a book to read in bed. And Zoe, who is almost 1, well, she can't read yet, but we're hoping that she will be the same exact way. My family are the most important thing for me, and they are the only real thing that I can say I definitely are my future. I work a full-time job during the week, go to school full-time, and we do everything we can to make sure the kids are provided for. Becoming an educator is important to me because I see how what they call the iPhone generation is. I read something or saw something recently from a very good source that said that most people going into college only have a 7th grade reading level. And for me, that doesn't make sense how they can get that far in life without being able to read or write or do anything of that sort if they're going to be past that point. Like, if they're in 7th grade, why aren't they reading a 7th grade level? If they're in 12th grade, why aren't they reading a 12th grade level? I hope to one day be able to impact even one child's life by becoming an educator. Thank you.